I left there yesterday morning. And said, "Here, sure, I'll come out," but my tractor wouldn't start. Then my truck wouldn't start. And I didn't want to get stuck on the ferry, so I couldn't go. So Jan and I were coming over, and luckily in that time she found a local person, a lawnmower and a tractor. But it still took a lot of raking, but Laura put her heart and soul into that day. Yeah, and then Scott, her husband, helped a lot.
It stays mostly down there.
You said just the pasture gets wet.
It gets quite wet, yeah, it holds water well.
You know Ian from the island?
Yeah.
He had his truck stuck earlier
I bet.
this year.
Yeah.
I tried to pull him, everybody's trying to pull him. Finally, 2 vehicles hooked to him and
got him out.
Nice. I had the trailer, but we told him not to drive right.
Yeah.
We did.
Ian's one to push boundaries, isn't he?
He stayed there a while.
I got the
grebe. I was out there, we heard a bitter.
Got a bitter.
Nice.
The grunter.
Oh,
That one. The Virginia rail.
Yeah.
The Virginia rail.
Okay, Libby Mill's been down here a little bit. Jonathan's going to do most of the talking about it.
You talk about the birds.
I want to talk about the birds real quick. I'll let everybody come up though.
Yeah.
A lot of birding is by ears, and especially in wetlands, marshy areas, because a lot of those birds are really secretive. And Libby's talking about the 3 hooting birds down there.
The hooters.
And I'll play them once, just to so you know what it is, but I won't continue it. Playing them is a good way to try to find them if you have to, like you're doing a survey or something.
Got this guy dialed up.
Okay, go ahead. Why don't you do the rail call?
So the last guy I heard was a Virginia rail. Oh, great. And you have a choice of the kiddick call or the grunt display. I'll give you the grunt because that's what we heard.
Maybe we should go down and see.
Let's see here. Oh, that wasn't very loud. Oh, that's the kiddick. It's playing the kiddick. And here's the grunt. He's called a Virginia rail. He's like a little chicken. It's in the same family as the hoots. Great big feet. And if you got super lucky, they have these little black downy feet.
Really cute.
Super cute. We just heard them.
And they're rail. They're thin, so they can go right in between the reeds really easy. You don't, once in a while, want to just walk out there, blasé, but most of the time they're really hard to see. There's another rail called the Sora. I haven't heard one here yet.
I didn't hear it.
I just heard one at Green Marsh the other day. Then the other one is, bittern, the swamp pump.
This guy looks like a heron, but they look like grass too, so they're hard to see. What's it called? An American bittern.
We heard a couple down here.
Oh, you did?
On either side of the beaver pond.
Well done. Oops, I'm taking pictures. Can you guys hear that?
Swamp pump.
Yeah.
And they're hitting jerks when they do it.
Yeah. So
really have to work to get it out.
He was definitely audible there.
And the other one we were hearing yesterday quite a bit was pied-billed grebe. He's real dark, real small.
Not a duck.
White bill, black slash on the bill.
So he's got a great voice. You'll hear him a few times. Sounds huge.
Midwest, we call them hell divers. I don't know why. Probably that's the way they taste. I don't know. Jan just saw some baby coots.
Baby coots.
Did you guys sign up for any of the
Sun or rain or both.
In Big Beaver Pond in the forest.
No, you mean otherwise around. Yeah. Yeah, some of the live stuff you read. First time I heard it, nobody had signed up for the compost yet. 10 yards of charcoal. You got to share it.
That'd be a joke, yeah.
That's a big pile. We could dump that. That's a big, we could pick it. Kathy wouldn't have heard. Oh, I see. Yeah. You know, that's a good point. You could dump it somewhere like, you know, at we went to the opening last night. History Museum of the Craig Barber exhibit. Integrate Craig Barber.
Like all our efforts, it was a group effort. And over the next 2 years, Skagit Land Trust partnered with the San Juan Preservation Trust. We partnered with the Guemes Island community, and we partnered with our members from across Skagit County and beyond. And we raised $2.2 million to purchase this land. 550 people donated to this. They heeded that call, even in a time of real economic uncertainty. Does anybody remember 2008, 2009? But they still did it. And I can see a lot of people in the room here who were part of that Guemes Mountain campaign. If you were part of supporting that campaign in any way, can you please raise your hand right now? Thank you. In saving Guemes Mountain, that was really the beginning of the important conservation work that the Land Trust has been doing on this island for nearly 20 years. We've been working. We've now saved we've protected close to 365 acres here on Guemes alone. Yay. The Guemes Mountain Conservation Area, it has now expanded down the mountain and out across that valley that you're looking at right now. There have been several private easements that protect critical natural features. And Kelly's Point, that was one of the more recent ones that we've done. It protects a beloved beach and really critical feeder bluffs here on island. And like all of our properties, conserving the land, protecting the land, that's just the beginning of the work. Because there have been now decades of stewardship work on the mountain. There's been work on Kelly's Point. There's been work to make sure that these places are open and welcoming to anybody that wants to visit them. And focusing on this island, that's a big part of our stewardship work plan each year that our staff works on. It would not be possible, though, without the amazing support of our volunteer land stewards who are here throughout the year, making sure that the trails are clear. They're the ones that come out and get that tree off the ground if it's fallen over the path. So if you're a land steward out here on Guemes, could you raise your hand? Ian, I know you're... Oh, there we go. Thank you. And actually, if you're a volunteer land steward on any of our properties, can you please raise your hand? Because they are critical for our work all the time. So now I just want to take a moment, because you've heard my voice a lot. I want you to hear some of the other voices from your fellow trust members about why they've protected their lands or why they're looking at protecting their land in the future with Skagit Land Trust. And I'm going to start that off with Ann Casperson, if you want to come on over here. In 2023, Ann conserved nearly 2.5 acres of her property to protect coastal forests, some rocky outcrops, and the shoreline there. And so Ann, can you tell us a little bit about why you wanted to protect your land with Skagit Land Trust?
Well, I lived on southeast point, formerly known as the southeast point of Guemes Island for about almost 50 years. And so my husband and I came there and built a house, and my husband was a captain on the Guemes Island Ferry for many years. And when he died in 2006, the community got together and created a petition to the state to change the name of the point, Southeast Point, Casperson Point, to honor his service to the community. And so over the years we bought several lots, we expanded, and so I wanted to preserve that and protect it, and so I wanted to partner with the Skagit Land Trust to make the conservation easement so it could be protected and preserved, and so that's where we are.
All the way over on the other side of the island, there are two land trust members who have been long committed to conservation here on Guemes and across this whole region, and they're working to bring a vision to life, and they've asked Skagit Land Trust to be part of that caring for these lands. So now I'm going to turn things over to Birch to share a little bit about their story.
Wonderful. Hi, everyone. It was a privilege to meet some of you on the Dogwoods hike today. And I know I met many of you at the Land Trust annual meeting a couple years ago. So it's good to be in front of you speaking about why we love the Land Trust. I want to acknowledge my husband, who's sitting in the back, David Wertheimer, who's a co-steward Dogwoods, and also the team from the Coast Salish Youth Coalition. Thank you, Sam, Emma, and Kelsey, because they are going to be partners in this effort as well. So, Laura, I think you said I had, what, 50 minutes or so? Okay. Great. So, we are really proud to be part of the conservation tradition that has built itself on Guemes Island. If you look at the center of your program, you'll see the map of Guemes Island. There's that, and I don't even know how to describe that color. Mint green? Lichen green? Lichen green. I like that better. L, that's 120 acres of land that my husband and I were able to acquire in 2020 with the intent to conserve it forever. And it's important for us that it centered and honored our Coast Salish predecessors, the original stewards of these lands, but also recognize that there are some challenges associated with the conservation of land that the Skagit Land Trust is uniquely suited to serve. So we are delighted to be partnering with both organizations, each of which we see having a part. But tonight we're here to really support the Skagit Land Trust. So I hope you'll join with me in raising your paddle when the time comes to make a contribution tonight. I'm not going to use my full 50 minutes, but I'll turn the mic back to you.
I want to come back here to the valley now. And so we're looking out on this valley. This was a project that was added in, was it 2017 that the valley got added here, Kari? It was right around there. I do remember when we were working on adding this to the Guemes Mountain Conservation Area, my son, I was carrying him as a baby on my pack, looking out at this whole area, and at that point it was more cattle pasture. And it was hayed, and there was a big long gate that went down the middle there, just a little tiny bit of a wetland. And over that time, my son is now about this tall, and this whole area has turned into such amazing wildlife habitat. And one of the first easements that we did here on the island, that was in, I'm trying to remember, this was quite a few years ago, and it was 36 acres that Wynn and Elaine Anderson did, and that's at the far end of the wetland right over there. They wanted to protect their critical wetlands, their forests, parts of Caillou Creek and shoreline, and they really helped us kick off conservation easement work here on Guemes, and I just want to thank them so much for doing that. I'm not sure if they were able to... All these voices that you've heard today, all of these stories of conservation, they share a common theme. And that theme is what we can do together as a community. Because there's no single person, there's no single organization or landowner that can protect all of the places that we love. But when we collaborate, we can accomplish extraordinary things. And for 34 years, Skagit Land Trust has worked alongside our community, our members, landowners, businesses, tribes, government agencies, our partner organizations to protect the land that defines this region. And together, all of us here, we have helped conserve thousands of acres, and we've protected countless places that might otherwise have been lost. Because the pressures that are facing our natural lands are continuing to grow. Every year, important natural habitat and open space face increasing threats. But the lands that we protect today will shape what Skagit County will look like for our children, for our grandchildren, and for the wildlife of this region. So the future is being written right now. And it's written every time a landowner chooses conservation, every time a partner joins forces with us to restore a landscape, every time someone volunteers, someone speaks up, someone makes a gift to a place that they love. Because the work of conservation is choosing to believe that the future generations, they deserve clean water. They deserve healthy forests and thriving wildlife and places where they can experience the wonder of being in nature. And the work that we do, it's drawing on the wisdom that has been long known by the people who have inhabited this land since time immemorial, that the generations to come will benefit from the decisions, from the choices that we make today.